current situation of Mexico regarding the crime problem the country has and the insecurity that this causes on the population is a well-known fact. Many argue that due to the inefficiency of the authorities, the problem has gotten worse. Others say that it's due to all the hard work of the authorities that the problem has been kept in line, and they are doing the best they can against a very complicated situation. In the following analysis, we will look into different news that have appeared in the past month. All these cases have to do with various incidents all over the country, but we will be focusing on the reactions or the paper that the authorities have played in them instead of the accidents themselves. Case 1, January 12, Oaxaca. Reports show just how overstaffed the health system of the state is, draining it from a lot of resources that could go to other fields. The current governor of the state responded by saying that he will do something about it, but only after looking more into the subject. Case 2, January 12, Sonora. 2 officials assaulted a reporter and his cameraman for unknown reasons on one of the municipalities. The incident was brought to light after video evidence was submitted to a newspaper. The municipality's governor responded by removing the assaulters from office. Case 3, January 15, Mexico City. The ridiculous increase on cell phone and electronic theft has the public worried. The PGJ has proposed stricter regulations on the sales of these appliances, and consequences if these regulations are not met, as a way of fighting the thefts. Case 4, January 17, Baja California. Altercations between civilians and the builders of a new beverage plant resulted in protests. The police was called to the site, and it resulted in 5 arrests and 7 injured people, as the altercations turned violent. Case 5, January 19, Tamaulipas. A case was brought to the CNDH as the bodies of 4 people missing, 3 of which were American tourists, were found after 20 days of the disappearance. Witnesses claimed that they died at the hands of a military patrol that was on site. The CNDH is looking more into the case. Case 6, January 22, National News. 2017 was declared the bloodiest year that Mexico has seen in over 2 decades. It is reported that the homicide rate increased by over 27%. The general population is alarmed by it, as intellectuals discuss the causes of this. It has been determined that what actions will be taken to stop insecurity will be a pressing issue for the presidency candidates of this year. Case 7, January 26, Chiapas. As 2 rival political groups turned one of the municipalities into a war zone, the population of the area feared gravely for their safety. The case was brought to the CNDH, and troops and policemen have already arrived to the site in order to patrol it and ensure the public safety. Case 8, January 27, Zacatecas. The state faces a huge lack of policemen and authorities. The Secretary of Public Safety of Zacatecas has claimed various causes, such as policemen becoming a very risky career while also being underpaid, and the state getting rid of a lot of people because they have ties with organized crime and corruption. Case 9, January 29, Mexico City. The case of Marco Antonio Sanchez, who was found badly disoriented and beaten after having disappeared, has caused uproar over the country, as it can be taken as an example of forced disappearance by the authorities. A lot of information of the case is either unknown or has been manipulated, but the reports say that it only fuels to the general mistrust the population has against the authorities. Case 10, February 5th, Colima. Reports show how the population has taken matters into their own hands, as they claim the police has done nothing to help the situation and protect local businesses. The way they have taken care of business is by getting protection from the private security sector, as they also claim that the authorities have not answered to their complaints. Case 11, February 6, Puebla. The robbery on a bus turned into a bloody scene as both the soldiers protecting the civilians and the thieves died due to the gunfire. The population has grown worried, since these robberies on public transport have become the most common kind. By reading all of this news and taking into account the current situation of the country, it can be deduced that the fault does not lie on the authorities, but neither are they managing the situation to the best of their abilities. The problem Mexico has on crime and why it's become so heavy for the police to handle lies on both the corruption of the authorities and how unprepared they are to deal with everything. Like in several of the cases exposed, the situation has grown too dire for the authorities to ensure public safety, either because crime has turned just that big, or in the case of forced disappearances, the police simply cannot be trusted. The population faces a big problem. Aside from the crime, they cannot rely on the authorities to keep them protected. Like the people of Colima who have taken and sought the help of private security, the inefficiency of the police is forcing the people to act to keep themselves safe. As this is not only a problem of corruption, since as in Zacatecas and on the case of the boss on Puebla, the career has become incredibly dangerous. A viable solution for the problem will be for the authorities to find a way to make themselves trustworthy again, by eliminating the corruption and the altercations with the public. The main job of the police is to keep the population safe, but by cases such as Marco Sanchez, the population has lost faith in the system. I deeply believe that the job of a policeman will be made easier if they manage to get the trust of the population back, and I agree that the proposals to fix the situation will be an important point on the coming elections. To conclude, the problem that Mexico has with insecurity has proven to be hard for the authorities to handle. Corruption and forced disappearances have made the population weary of those that are supposed to protect them. Not only that, but the job that policemen do is quite dangerous already, making the situation even worse as the population distances themselves from the authorities. The country is in need of a solution, a viable solution, that comes either on the form of civilians taking their safety into their own hands or on higher authorities finding a way to make the population feel safe again.